And to that point of like data driven versus data informed. So data driven is you're all in on attribution, everything that you can see. But we know that attribution is very limited to what can be tracked by a cookie, tracked by an activity logged in Salesforce, but so much can't be. And that's where the data informed side is. Like when you know that your CEO is really active on LinkedIn and your market spends a ton of time on LinkedIn and they start seeing his posts or her posts, or my favorite is I have him on our podcast. And I was like, Matt, you're not going to believe me when I say this. 6 months from now, you're going to be getting on calls with prospects and they're going to say, I feel like I know you already because I've been listening to the podcast. I know your point of view. I know what you're going to say. And they're already going to understand the value of what we do. You're not going to need to pitch them on that and discovery. You're just going to get straight into what are they struggling with? How can we help? And he's like, I don't know. That's pretty far fetched. 6 months later, give or take a month on either side. I think it was on the earlier side, but he's just like, you were right. I was like, what are you talking about? Completely forgotten the conversation at that point. And he's just like, I've been getting on more and more discovery calls lately because he does founder-led sales where people know who I am. They know my point of view. They're excited to talk. It's less about who's locks and what are you, but they already know who we are, what we're going after, what we're trying to help them accomplish. And I think that's a big testament to being data informed because the demo requests that come in, they never say podcast. They never say Matt's LinkedIn post. Yeah, we have self-reported attribution. Maybe 1 out of 100 are going to note that. But I know that is making a big impact because it does come out in discovery calls. I'm sure I could go run a Gong script and see like when they reference that type of thing in the calls, and it would be another data point for me to use. But that's where I say that's how you look at things and be data informed, where it's a little bit of gut, a little bit of intuition, a little bit of qualitative insight. And then you marry that with some of the quantitative to get to the best combination.